Welcome to the show. Apologies for any terrible quality that you might be underestimating with my MacBook audio. Basically, the point of this video, I just kind of finalized my picks for DFS plays, and I figured might as well share it with the public because it's anyone who wants to see this video. So no graphics, just me, just a screen. So you got to listen here. But we're gonna go through quarterback stacks, running backs that I like, wide receivers, tight ends. Call it, be done. No betting this week. Just not having the time to make graphics. Obviously, the games are literally tomorrow morning, so obviously this is probably not a video that's needed. But anyway, my point being, let's jump right into things. Quarterback stacks. This is how you win DFS. You pair a wide receiver with a quarterback or a tight end, whatever the case may be. But here are the names that I have listed here. Trevor Lawrence, who is pretty cheap, 5,300. Again, nobody's expecting anything from this Jaguars offense. I like pairing him with Travis Hunter. Hunter's a little bit of a sleeper. Brian Thomas is going to be the Panthers' main concern with J.C. Horn. Probably try and double team him, take it away. I wouldn't be surprised if Hunter scores. You're not going to get Brian Thomas Jr. numbers out of Hunter, but you might get 6 for 50 and a touchdown, and that's kind of all you need in terms of a $5,000 play in Travis Hunter, who is going to make up the majority of your salary. So I like Travis Hunter. I like Trevor Lawrence. It's just a matter of, are they going to run in touchdowns or are they going to pass touchdowns? Because the Panthers defense can't do either. They can't stop the run and they can't stop the pass. Second stack, Bryce Young, the Tedero, McMillan. I think McMillan is going to be the wide receiver one. And for a wide receiver who's a rookie, but he's going for 5,200 on DraftKings. That is crazy to me. So unbelievable there. I will say, moving to number 3, I like Bryce Young too, but no Coker, no Thielen. You only have Leggett and David Moore. How much can you do? Yes, it's the Jags defense, but I'm a little bit questionable there. I like Bryce Young, but there's other stacks that I'm coming around more to that I like better. Brock Purdy is one of them. Brock Purdy to Ricky Pearsall. The Seahawks defense is not very good. And with that, you probably want to go after a couple players like Pearsall, Kittle, McCaffrey's questionable. So Purdy might have like 3 touchdowns in this game. And honestly, I think it's going to look pretty good for him. And he could be the quarterback late in the window that just wins you your money. You get in the money for the $1 million maker lineup. So I like Purdy a lot. I think Pearsall could be his go-to guy. Pearsall he could be a hit. He could be a miss. If you want to be safe, go with Kittle. But I think Pearsall is very good value for 4,500. Again, we're just trying to touch quarterbacks, but I got to pair with a stack. Jaden Daniels to Deebo Samuel. I say Deebo because he's cheaper. 2, Terry McLaurin hasn't practiced all pre-training camp, so I think Deebo is going to be his guy, kind of the yards over the middle kind of guy. And you look at all these wide receiver 2s in the past just have big games. Maybe Deebo does that. This is 2 bad defenses. The Giants, Malik Neighbors love that. Just can't stack him with the quarterback. But again, Giants run game is pretty good too. So moving on to the game of the week. Bengals, Browns. Joe Flacco, David Njoku, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. You might have to have everybody from this game. You might have to do a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, David Njoku, Jerry Jeudy lineup. It might suck because it's all one game, but that's kind of where all the points are scored sometimes. So as much as I don't like Jeudy this week, maybe I'm just a hater, I don't know, but realistically, Flacco is the cheapest quarterback. 4,900, somebody who's probably going to get you 20. If you get Flacco as the cheapest quarterback and you pay for Burrow and he only gets 5 more points, what's the point in paying for Burrow if he doesn't give you, 35 and he goes for 305 touchdowns? I mean, he very well can do that, but it's like, I think you got to be smart with your quarterback this week. And if you can get Flacco for, close to dirt cheap for nothing, I would definitely consider that. Baker Mayfield to Emeka Egbuka. Again, this is a pass-first offense, one of the best offenses in football last year. You bring in a rookie wide receiver. Egbuka is cheap. He's going to be able to be affordable. Not that Mike Evans isn't, but he's also going to be part of the distraction, and the Falcons are going to game plan against him. Egbuka is going to be over the middle, chain mover, and he is $4,600 as a salary. That is crazy. Last kind of one that I had, last 2 that were throwaways, Kyler Murray to Marvin Harrison, which again, I don't trust. You could do McBride, but I don't trust Kyler until he proves me right. I don't care that it's a favorable matchup. That screams James Conner to me all day. And then Bo Nix is Cortland Sutton. I don't know how good Bo Nix is going to be, considering that they're going to be up by 30 by halftime. I don't think the Titans are going to keep this a competitive game. The Broncos defense is very good, so maybe Sutton catches a touchdown, Nix throws 2 touchdowns, but it's not going to look good. So the other one I was thinking, maybe, just maybe, but it's Tua to Jalen Waddle. Another Colts defense is not very good, but there's a lot of quarterback stacks you can go with. I think my two favorites have to be Joe Flacco to David Njoku just because it's so cheap, and then honestly a sneaky one, Purdy to Pearsall. I think those are my top two. If I would have to pick three, it'd be probably Trevor Lawrence to Travis Hunter. I just don't want to pay top dollar for Jaden Daniels or Joe Burrow when I can probably get the same value out of Purdy and Flacco. That's just how I look at it. And I like Baker as well, but he's up there, top three. With Burrow, it's Burrow, Jaden, and Baker for the top three. You got to pay $7,000 for Jaden, $6,900 for Burrow, and then same thing for Baker, $66,000. So it's like, what's the point when you can get a quarterback in Joe Flacco for almost $2,500 cheaper, and then you could just reinvest that salary other places. 5 minutes gone, quarterback's done. We'll move to running backs. Running back's the weirdest one this week because there's not anything that jumps off the board to me. So with that being said, I think it's going to be a sneaky play. Gibbs is probably going to be Gibbs. Bijan's going to be Bijan. But who's going to be the running back for cheap that just flies off the board like a Javonte Williams to where you're not expecting anything? And I think it's Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb against the Rams. The Texans are like, everyone's questioning him. Oh, the run game's not good, this, that. Chubb is very cheap, $5,200. He's the starting running back there. And if the Texans get on the goal line, they're going to give it to him. So I like Chubb a lot for $5,200. Another cheap option that's going to be really good is Travis Etienne for $5,400. I know it sounds sketchy, but they're playing the Panthers. If I don't have it mistaken, they were one of the worst, if not the worst, run defense in all of football last year. Yes, they got a couple guys, Trayvon Moehrig in the secondary, but it's not good enough. So I really think Etienne, all the backlash that he got in the offseason, he's still the starter. Bigsby's going to be in and out of there, but honestly, I think it's going to be those two guys. So honestly, I don't even mind Chubb and Etienne, but there are a couple guys that I love. The two guys I like, Ashton Jeanty, again, you got to pay the price for him, $7,000. My fear is you pick him, and he's only going to give you like 20, pretty much what any other typical back would give you. You want to get the value out of players. If Jeanty goes for 30, I'll be happy I picked him. But James Conner, also didn't mention it, chalk this week. He's probably about 50-60% owned just because he's playing the Saints. And he might have 15-20 points, but I don't think he's going to go crazy. He's going to maybe 25, but he's not going to have like 3 touchdowns. I don't believe it. I feel like the Cardinals are going to pass a little bit more. Trey Benson might be a little bit more involved. But I don't want to get stuck with the Connor chalk when you have other options. Tyrone Tracy's going up against a bad, horrendous Commanders run defense last year. Devon Achane, the Colts were bottom 5 in rush defense. Bucky Irving, he could be involved. I don't even mind that. A Baker, Bucky, and a Buka stack. That could be something. Chase Brown on the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, you could do a Burrow, Chase Brown, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, David Njoku, but then you have no money left. So it's like you have to pick your spots of what players do you want to get at what time. Travion Henderson, the rookie from New England, could be a decent, viable play, but he's, again, $5,500. R.J. Harvey, $5,800. The one thing, Jerome Ford, running back on the Cleveland Browns, he's $5,600. The thing with Ford is there is no Quinshon Judkins, so it makes me think, I'm like, if they do run it, it's going to be Ford. But how much is he going to get you? I think Chubb can get more than Ford, so I'm not big on Ford. Okay, finalizing my running backs, it has to be Ashton Jeanty, Nick Chubb, or one of the cheaper running backs. If you want to run 2 cheap running backs, I'm fine with Harvey. I'm fine with Chubb. I'm fine with Etienne. The thing is with Harvey, he does have J.K. Dobbins to compete with in Denver, which is a little bit subject to question. But if you're playing the Titans, a rookie quarterback, in his first game against one of the best defenses in the NFL in terms of the top three in rush defense, top 10 in pass defense, the Broncos have a good defense. So I think Cam Ward's going to struggle. I don't think he scores more than 14 points, kind of like similar to Caleb Williams' start. I don't care how good the Titans defense was last year, second in points. I don't care. The Titans are going to be demolished. So that's where Harvey's value comes in. But $5,800, again, I don't know if I want to spend that. I feel like I'd rather the value with ETN, $400 cheaper. So again, you have to pick your spots with your guys. I love Jeanty, I love Chubb, I love ETN, Bucky Irving. I mean, all the guys have good value. And Tracy's got a good matchup. Achane's got a good matchup, but he's coming off a calf injury. So maybe Ollie Gordon steps in. There's a lot of questions. But again, those are the guys I'm looking at. Now, time for wide receiver. There's so many wide receivers this week, and my number one favorite wide receiver, I already called it that, but it's Tet McMillan. McMillan, I was a little bit worried about the hamstring, but he was back at practice. So, they took him off the injury report. He's the wide receiver one in that room. Jalen Coker got hurt. Adam Thielen got traded. Xavier Legette. You need Tet McMillan in every single one of your lineups if you want to win this week. Every single one. I would also argue Emeka Ibuka as well. The only one I'm unsure with is what's going to be that third guy. Is it Jamar Chase? Is it T. Higgins? Is it Ricky Pearsall maybe steps up? I mean, he could be hit or miss. Is it Devontae Adams? That's a sneaky one. The Texans have, Puka Nacua just locked up by Derek Stingley all day. Is it Adams over the middle? Maybe a 2-touchdown day for him. I don't know. That could be something to think about. Nico Collins. I mean, he's the only guy for C.J. Stroud considering Christian Kirk is out and Braxton Berrios is out. Jalen Waddle is Tua's kind of go-to guy considering the Colts are terrible on all aspects of defense. So, again, there's a lot to like here. I'll just run through all the names I have listed. McMillan, Malik Neighbors against the Commanders is a great matchup. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Again, they're playing the Browns. The Bengals have no defense. It's kind of been the same story every year with them where they're on top of DFS all the time. Ricky Pearsall's 4,500. Emeka Ibuka, Devontae Adams, Travis Hunter. I talked about him. Sneaky play with the stack to Trevor. Only like him with the stack to Trevor. Because single-handedly, he could get you 5 points or he could get you 25. He's that wide receiver, too, to where he's going up for the moon or he's going to shoot you in the foot. Jalen Waddle, Deebo Samuel, maybe Judy, I said. Here's the thing. I am unsure of what wide receivers are going to bust. And that's the thing. I'm just pondering. I'm just like, It's just really difficult to pick one. So I would have to say all the receivers that are going to hit this week are going to be around the middle ranges. If you want to have a top-tier guy, go with Neighbors, go with Chase, sure. But you can't fit them all. And there's so many great names. McMillan's going to have a decent day. Emeka Ibuka is going to have a decent day. Pearsall's going to be solid. Nico Collins is going to do his thing. Deebo Samuel, I think he catches a touchdown. I mean, again, there are so many good names. So just the name 3, 4, 5, I guess. McMillan's my favorite. Neighbors is going to get fed the ball. Chase is going to be Chase. Pearsall. And then I'm between Adams, Ibuka, even Hunter and Deebo. So those are my 5, 6, 7, 8, if you will. Wide receiver quicker than I thought, but I kind of have the same number of wide receivers as I do running backs, but that's because I trust a certain amount of them. And out of the 11 guys that I mentioned, 4 of them or 3 of them, depending on what the $1 million lineup looked like, those are the guys that are going to be in the money. It's just how do you pick the right guy? Same thing with quarterback. What quarterback is going to be the best, but also the cheapest? If you pick Joe Burrow, but he's the best by 1 point, Joe Flacco's right there for the difference between Flacco and Burrow is, oh my goodness, Burrow is 6,900, Joe Flacco is 4,900. That is exactly a $2,000 difference, and for quarterback, that's a pretty big deal, especially when Jamar Chase is 8,100 and Ricky Pearsall is 4,500. That's a big dip as well. So wide receiver is a big thing. Final thing here before we wrap things up, but tight end. David Njoku, 4,700, top dog for me. Bowers, I'm staying away from. I'm looking for the value plays. Weird one, but Kyle Pitts against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2 games last year, he had 8 for 97 and a touchdown. It's really weird, but Kyle Pitts, for some reason, just has his way with Tampa Bay. Don't mind it. I personally love Tyler Warren. I think the Colts are going to be down in that game. I really think Warren's going to be the yak guy over the middle. For 4,400, you can put him plug and play for pretty much a solid 15 points. And for a tight end, that's very solid. If you're looking for some sleeper plays, Tucker Kraft, Packers tight end, I like that because Jordan Love hasn't practiced with Matthew Golden. Jaden Reed is hurt. Who's going to be the guy that catches the ball? I think Kraft, big red zone target. Golden and him may not be on the same page for the first game. I like Kraft for some reason. And then 2 other names, but they're both 3,500, pretty cheap. Dalton Schultz and Brenton Strange. Strange is getting no love. I also forgot to mention, but Cedric Tillman is on here as well because he's cheap, but he's 4,400. Could be another Brown stack, but regardless, it's Dalton Schultz and Brenton Strange, both 3,500. And I think I'd lean Schultz more than Strange just because Schultz is probably the number 2 in that offense with Kirk out and Berrios out. But Schultz can be a guy that catches a touchdown. And sometimes that's all you need out of a dirt cheap tight end. If you're going to go with a heavy Burrow Chase stack, I mean, those are the tight ends you're going to have to go get. And Dalton Schultz could be a $3,500 play that has 5 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown. And for somebody that costs $3,500 at the tight end position, that's gonna boost you up a lot. So I guess for a lineup, if you will, my guys are probably gonna be, and I don't. This is a risky one, but it's Brock Purdy, it's Ricky Pearsall, I guess we have to go through the positions. All right, quarterback. I don't want to do it though. I didn't think this through. Okay. This doesn't actually map out to salary, but it's Brock Purdy, Ashton Genty, Nick Chubb, Tet McMillan, Malik Neighbors, Ricky Pearsall, and then it's between those guys, Emeka Ibuka, Deebo Samuel, Travis Hunter. I mean, those are the middle range guys that you're going to be able to afford. So that's kind of the last slot guy I need to figure out. But I would say my guys this week, Tet McMillan, Ashton Genty, Tyler Warren. I love Trevor Lawrence, love Brock Purdy this week. Joe Flacco, another one of my guys. I think the Flacco to Njoku stack could really work. But yeah, I mean, those are it. I really don't have much else for you guys. So I know it was a terrible video. I want to have graphics. I want to put on a good show. But I also want to put information that I have done out there for the public, even though it might be 6 hours, 8 hours. I'm recording this at 10:14 at night. So, probably 10 hours before game time. I don't know specifically off the top of my head, but this was just kind of a throw it out there kind of video because I have the research, I have the ideas. It's just a matter of how can we amplify it, make it better. So going forward, we're gonna try and post these on Friday. That way we can have a day of actually, okay, I got to see that video, but still getting settled into this week 1, still trying to find a schedule. But hopefully it was enough information for you guys to process. I know there's no graphics, but again, this is going to be better, new and improved. So just look forward to more and entertaining content. Sorry I can't really provide any graphics today, but that's it for me. From Mike Zanetti, the Big Z Breakdown. We will see you guys in the next episode. Good luck with all the plays in the DFS world. Until next time, we'll catch ya.